Trinity, taking a look at this year's team, I felt like this year's squad came up with a lot of hope, a younger squad with a lot of potential to it. Your thoughts thus far on this season?
Yeah, I think obviously our average age has gone down throughout the years, but in a good way. I think we have, I don't even want to say potential because I feel like we've already shown so much.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're still working on building the connection and trying to figure out what this team's identity is. I think each game is a learning experience for us. Obviously, each game we've gotten scored on first, and it hasn't, like, that's not ideal, but I think we're building something really great, and the players are really good. Our newer players that have been here, we're meshing really well, and I'm very excited for this season.
I love it. And again, we can take that word potential out of our vocabulary.
Yeah.
but speaking of you personally, right? When you came into this league, obviously it was with a lot of ballyhoo, and that is something that not potentially, but you have actually backed that up on the pitch to date. Talk to me about kind of your career thus far in its early stages.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot. I feel like I've hit a lot of different stages and failures and successes throughout the journey that I've had thus far. So obviously rookie year did really well, had a good season, and then the next year we did horrible in a sense. We were kind of at the bottom of the table, and then third year kind of up and down. So yeah, I think I've definitely learned and experienced a lot in the little amount of time that I've played, but I don't know, I'm proud of how far I've come, and the leadership role that I'm starting to take on this team I think is really good for me, and I'm learning from not only myself and my experiences, but the people around me too. I think coming into the league young helps you learn from those around you and forces you to grow up and adapt to this environment very quickly. So that's helped me a lot, and I'm going to continue to grow and mature as these years go on for sure.
Speaking of growth, right, you look at where women's sports are today, and again, you're a relatively young lady, but when I was your age, women's sports weren't really getting hardly any love at all. You look at Caitlin Clark and in the NCAA, the women's game getting more views than the men's game, really on an uprise here. Talk to me about your thoughts on how the women's game in all sports is evolving.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say, like, oh, the talent has gotten better, which I don't disagree with at all, but I think there's always been talent there.
Right.
I think it's just the attention to that talent, and I think that's something that's improved, is now there's actually people willing to watch it, and I think before it was more like, nah, like the women don't got it, it's the men, it's the men's side. So I think once you get eyes on us, it's like, whoa, there's so much here, and there's so much to grow in this game and just in the world in general. I think the reach that women's sports has had, not only in the sport but outside, and the movements that have gone on, is just, I don't know, so commendable, and I'm so proud and honored to be a part of women's sports and women's soccer too. I think that's been doing so well.
Yes.
So
you all were kind of, before there was a Caitlin Clark, it was women's soccer that was setting that standard.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, obviously basketball this year was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, all of them just so good. So yeah, again, I think this is just the beginning. Even though we've already come so far, I think there's still so much more.
So I think, just kind of piggybacking off of what you said there, because I agree with you. The women's games and the women's sports have been doing this thing. I think that it's incumbent upon us in the media to be the ones to have these conversations, to introduce and to put that pizzazz on women's sports, to make sure that people come out and watch the games and go in person as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think media has a huge reach, and also not just like the outsiders looking in. I think too it's what we do with these opportunities to talk to outlets and to be a person off the field, I think is really important, because not only are we fun to watch and entertainment and skill and talented, I think it's the personal level that has helped grow the game, of like people truly are starting to like us as humans, and it's like they want to follow individuals, teams, and based off of that connection that they have off of the field, I think has been really cool to see, and I think that's just another component of what has brought so many people into the sport and has kept them here.
When we take a look at the idea of like a star, right? Like a sports star. Again, no matter what it is at the sport, of course, you got to have that magnitude. You got to have that eye grabbing. People have to want to see you. They want to have to listen to you. I think that you obviously are there, and that has been who it is that you've been your entire career, and it's only going to grow even more. For you, has that been heavy? Is that an honor? How do you feel knowing that you are who you are?
Yeah, I think I try to not think of it in that way in a sense.
I'm sorry, Trinity, come on.
Well, no, 100%. I think it's so awesome to have all eyes on me and kind of have that platform to speak on and to work on and to kind of just be me and do my thing, I think has been so amazing. But I think it is definitely hard sometimes too, because I think balancing the off the field, on the field, being young, but also trying to be this mature person who's trying to be a role model for others while I'm also trying to learn and figure out what, like, who my role model is, how to be that. So I think for sure it's been amazing, but also difficult because I do have to give myself that leniency of, oh my gosh, I'm 21 years old.
Sure.
Like, but I don't know, I think it's been so great. And going off of what you said of just like being in the eye and being a star, I think a cool part of soccer that I think sometimes can get lost in the competitive level is the entertainment piece, and I think that's huge. Obviously we want to be starting every game, we want to play 90 minutes, we want to be performing at our top level, but at the same time I think for fans and for ourselves it's so refreshing to be yourself and to have fun and to try new things and to be entertaining, and because at the end of the day I think obviously we want to do well, but at the same time it's entertainment and it should be fun for both parties. So that's something that I pride myself on, and I think I also kind of model my game after my dad in a sense of like he was an entertainer and you could talk your crap about him for sure, but at the end of the day people were going there for him, and I think that's really important, and that's something I hope to continue to bring, and I hope that's something that stays when I'm done.
Again, I'm 42 years old, so so I was growing up when your father was really in his prime and whatnot out there, and so to see an athlete rebound, not scoring 30 points,
it's
but
crazy.
to be a defender and a rebounder, but to have people come to games to watch him play. Growing up knowing that you are the daughter of a Dennis Rodman, has that helped to prepare you for all of the attention again that you've had now that you're on the professional level?
Yeah, I think for sure it helps a little bit. It's obviously very different. I think the attention that he was getting was not even a comparison to what I'm getting, and it's just a different vibe completely. But I think it's a learning experience for me. I think the biggest thing that I got was learning from him and learning from someone that was in the biggest eye of everyone and everything. So I think it definitely helped me a lot and kind of showed me what not to do and how to balance it and figure out how to do things for yourself and how to do things for other people while also being yourself doing that. So yeah, I think it was great to see that and learn from it, and now I'm doing it. So yeah, it's great.
Athletically, and this is the last question I'll ask here, athletically, what's the biggest thing that you've learned from your father athletically?
I think this is one thing I'm going to say. You can be the best athlete, you could have the best build, you could be the fastest, you could be the most explosive, but if you don't have that, like, the mental side and the IQ and the I'm locked in at every moment, I'm not shutting off, then you're not going to be the most successful player and you're not going to be the best. You're not going to be the GOAT, because I feel like he was a GOAT in his own way. Obviously, there's other players that were, but it doesn't, like, athleticism isn't going to take you that far.
That's right.
And I think what I learned was you need to be a player of the game and you need to study everything, and it's not just about the games you play, it's about the games that all your opponents play, the games that people not even in your league play, and what you can learn from that, what you can build from that, and how you can use that to then destroy other people in a sense. Like, it is, like, legit. Like, I feel like learning from that and using that to your advantage to then be the best you can in different ways, I think is so cool. So I would say that's the biggest thing.
It's amazing talking to you that you're only 21 years old. Like you feel, obviously you look young, but you feel like you have an older soul.
I don't know. I don't know if it's an older soul, but I just feel like I've learned a lot. I'm still a lot to learn, but I feel like I've been around a lot of things to learn what not to do, how to speak to people, and how to just be in the environment, I think. So I wouldn't say an old soul, but I definitely have been around a lot of experienced people, and I've learned from that for sure.
Just to pivot for a moment here, taking a look now with the NWSL, one of the new things, a new great thing that's going on here is that goalie jersey sales are going to be offered. Many would say, and I would say as well, that this is long overdue. But just looking at that and the totality of this conversation, the growth of women's sports, give me your thoughts on that.
It's huge. I mean, it seems like something so little, but I think it's huge. I think it's huge for this game, and just the feeling like the keepers feel included and like they're important too, because it's like keepers get overlooked so much and it's so difficult, because I'm like, I can count so many times Aubrey has saved our butts in games, so I'm just like, just that little part of like, they're part of this team and they should be recognized and acknowledged the way that we are. So I'm gonna be buying some keeper jerseys. I'm getting my Aubrey jersey. So yeah, I think it's great and another baby step, but I think it's a big step in the long run, and I'm very excited for it.
We're far away from the day in which you hang up your cleats. We're just getting started here. But again, out of everything that you've accomplished thus far and everything that is potentially on the table for you, when it's all said and done, what would you like for your legacy to be? Who do you want to be beyond just here on the pitch?
Yeah, I think I touched on it a little bit, just being myself, being true to who I am, and using soccer as an outlet for the person that I am. I think there's only so much I can say in terms of skill set. I want to win a World Cup. I want to win the Olympics. I want to get a Ballon d'Or. Like those are the things that are written up for every single player that plays in this league.
Sure.
But I think off of that, I want to change the game of entertainment. I want people to come to the games to watch fun, to watch something super cool, and to know that if I'm watching Trinity Rodman, I'm seeing exactly who she is off the field as well. And I think I'm doing that. I think you can put a whole story together with the way that I play, and that's the biggest thing for me. I think fun is the most important thing.
I love it. Get you out of here on this. Right now, there's a young lady sitting at home that's watching this right now who is interested in athletics, and you are helping her get even more interested. What's your message to those little girls out there who one day want to be Trinity Rodman?
Just don't take the overwhelming moments as setbacks. Don't let that stop you from chasing it. I think it's going to be so hard at times, and that's not you taking it for granted. That's you being a human and being able to work through that and take that as part of your learning experience, and to keep working, because at the end of the day it'll all pay off. And I don't know, that's all part of the journey, and don't use those as setbacks and keep working, because it's all worth it at the end. Yeah.
Trinity Rodman, thank you.
Thank you.